In the spotlight tonight, the killing of Jordan Davis. Late this afternoon, the jury in Florida began considering the case against Michael Dunn, who shot and killed Jordan Davis. Michael Dunn didn't like how loud the music was in the car that Jordan Davis was sitting in a convenience store parking lot. He told the teenage boys in that car to turn down the music, and according to Leland Brunson, one of the other passengers in that car, here's what happened next.
Did anyone turn down the music when he asked you to turn down the music?
Yes.
And who turned it down?
Tevin.
All right. Did Jordan Davis say anything when Tevin Thompson turned down the music?
Yes.
What was that?
He said, no, turn the music back up.
Did you ever hear Jordan Davis threaten the driver of the other car?
No.
Did Jordan Davis say anything back to the driver when the driver said, "Are you talking to me?"
Yes.
What did he say?
Yeah, I'm talking to you.
And what did you see the driver of the car, or the other car, do when Jordan Davis said, "Yeah, I'm talking to you"?
He reached into his glove compartment.
Did you see what the driver got out of his glove compartment?
Yes.
What was that?
A gun.
And what did the driver do with the gun when he grabbed it from the glove compartment?
He cocked it back.
And show the jury what you mean when you say he cocked it back.
Like, he was holding it and he cocked it back.
Okay. Pulled the slide back like?
Yes.
Okay. And for the record, Judge, the witness made a demonstration to that effect.
So reflective.
What did the driver do with the gun after he grabbed it and pulled the slide back?
He aimed it out his window.
And where did he aim it?
Towards Jordan's window.
And what did the driver do with the gun when he aimed it at Jordan's door?
He started firing.
Michael Dunn fled the scene after the shooting and was apprehended by police about 175 miles from the scene the next day. In his defense, Michael Dunn told a story that wasn't corroborated by any other witness or any other evidence in the case. He claimed that Jordan Davis got out of the car even though the medical examiner's findings indicate that Jordan Davis was shot in the back seat of the car. And he claims that Jordan Davis had a shotgun, even though police found no other weapon in this case other than the gun that killed Jordan Davis.
After the continued threat of "you're dead, bitch," now the door opens and this young man gets out. And as his head clears the window frame, he says, "This going down now."
And at any time do you see that man try to get rid of what you thought was a shotgun that he was holding against that door?
When the door opened and he said, "This going down now," that shotgun's not sticking up anymore.
Okay, but you didn't see his body movement try to get rid of it and then get out?
No, I just saw him get out and the shotgun's not sticking up anymore.
Now, in your mind, did you think he was just going to get out to yell at you some more?
No, this is the point where my death is imminent. He's coming to kill me. He's coming to beat me. I'm not real sure what his intentions are. Actually, he made it very clear what his intentions were.
Michael Dunn shot at the car 10 times. 3 of those bullets hit Jordan Davis. Michael Dunn is charged with first-degree murder for Jordan Davis's death. He is also charged with 3 counts of attempted murder for the 3 other passengers in the car. Joining me now are Larry Hannon, a court reporter for the Florida Times-Union. He's been in the courtroom every day of the Dunn trial, and Mark Thompson, host of Make It Plain on Sirius XM Radio. Larry, in that courtroom, was there anything that you could read in jury reaction to the testimony, the direct testimony of from the witnesses, the kids in the car, and the defendant taking the stand himself?
Lawrence, the jurors were really raptly listening to Dunn throughout his testimony. It was a struggle to figure out what they thought they were watching. I did see a juror shake her head and discuss once. It was actually when his fiancée took the stand after he left that they seemed to really turn on Dunn, because his fiancée basically contradicts a lot of what he said on the stand, including that Jordan Davis had a gun.
Well, Larry, on that point, the key point being that he, in the testimony, it emerges that he never told the girlfriend that Jordan Davis had a gun. He never said that to her, with plenty of opportunities to do so. Isn't that the big contradiction there?
Correct. His girlfriend, Rhonda Rauer, was actually in the gas station buying a bottle of wine when the shooting occurred. He yelled at her to get in the car afterwards. And then driving back to the hotel that night, he never told her that, according to her, and they ended up ordering a pizza and going to sleep. And then the drive back to Brevard County, which is over 170 miles away the next day, she said once again he never told her that Davis had a gun.
Mark Thompson, you go through an experience like that, the one person who's with you jumps back in the car. What's the first thing you say?
They had a gun.
Yeah.
My life was in jeopardy. You don't go to get more liquor and pizza and go to the hotel. You say that out loud. And clearly he didn't. It's interesting, if I'm not mistaken, Larry can correct me if I'm wrong, if I heard the defense close today, he tried to say that the fiance didn't remember that or got it wrong because she's actually still traumatized from the incident herself. Mm-hmm. So, of course, they're going to say whatever to the jury that they need to. But this is, in the words of a famous politician who often used racial stereotypes himself, here we go again. This feels the same way as it did a year ago when we were dealing with the Trayvon Martin case.
And Larry, this does have the stand your ground defense element, and the defense attorney today said to the jury that if Michael Dunn's belief of what was happening doesn't have to actually be true, according to the stand your ground defense. But what must be true is that he did believe that his life was being threatened at that time.
It has to be reasonable, though, Lawrence, and that's the argument prosecutors are making, is that he had no reasonable cause to believe his life was being threatened. The other teenagers in that car said Jordan Davis never threatened him. The other witnesses at the Gate gas station that night said that Davis just started screaming, "You can't talk to me like that," and fired. And Dunn has said that Davis got out threatening him with a gun. No one else saw Jordan Davis with a gun or even saw Jordan Davis get out of the car.
And Mark, this is one of those things where the stand your ground is being tested, and it seems though that just as you study it, it's really hard to see what the jury would be able to hang an acquittal on here, even on the stand your ground defense, because it seems you'd have to have another witness who says, yes, I at least saw one of the boys get out of the car.
I would agree with you, Lawrence, but I'm hesitant to put a lot of hope in trials such as these. We saw what happened with the Zimmerman trial. There must be some type of conversation in this country about these laws and the impact they have, and we know that disproportionately where there is an African-American victim and a white defendant, wherever there's a stand-your-ground law enforced or anything on that order, castle law, self-defense, we know how it often comes out. We've got to address that in the law, but also culturally. We need to have a conversation as to why there are some, not everyone, but there are some who feel that black men, particularly young African-American men, are an existential threat. Just walking down the street, just carrying a bag of Skittles, or just listening to loud music, or pulling a wallet out of the back pocket. How does that translate into having a gun?
Larry, how did the jury react, if we can gauge it, to the judge's charge on the stand your ground element of this case?
They were listening and taking notes, but it was a very long jury instruction. I would not say that they really reacted one way or another to the stand your ground. I think it was 34 pages of instruction, and as is often the case, midway through the jury is kind of numb. A couple were taking notes, but I don't think the phrase stand your ground really was something they noticed that much.
Mark, this may not be a case where the jury even gets to the stand your ground issue, in that if they don't have testimony of this kid getting out of the car, if they don't have some testimony that they can actually use to construct a dynamic in which there is ground to stand, they may not get to that point.
You're right, and that evidence does not exist.
Yeah.
There are no witnesses, no physical evidence that he got out of the car, no physical evidence that he had a gun. Of course, the defense tried to make the case today that the police didn't do due diligence to look for a gun, to go look in the bushes or what have you. There is the evidence that he got out of his car And if one is truly fearful or afraid, they probably are going to flee more than anything. But he got out of his car and shot into theirs. And I think the prosecutor also made the case he probably intended to kill more than one young man that night. It's just another tragic example of the extrajudicial execution of an African-American child.
Larry Hannon and Mark Thompson, thank you both very much for joining me tonight.